Hey everyone, hope you're doing good. I'm doing good over here. I just wanted to make a video about this article that I read, and oh my god, this is going to be a little bit of one of those, not rants, it's not a rant, but it's kind of like I got some emotion back here that I got to put forth and talk about a little bit, especially because I've seen this article get so much publicity. I mean, I have to say a few things. So the article is called My Message to Dr. Sears, and if you guys aren't familiar with Dr. Sears, he's pretty much like the face, or the main doctor that has really been advocating and pushing forth the attachment parenting style, and this is apparently her message to him. So basically what she's saying, she's advocating detachment parenting, and talking about how attachment parenting just seems like a major nightmare, and she doesn't understand why anyone should do that, and is kind of upset with Dr. Sears for trying to put forth that that's something that parents should strive for or try and do. She starts off by saying she has birthday parties. She just had another birthday party for her 3-year-old, and all the parents all get together and get to start talking about stuff, and things like travel and restaurants come up, and she says that she mentions, a movie that she's seen recently, or, some of the stuff that she's done recently and whatnot, the restaurants that she's tried and things. And she said that she always hears a parent say, oh, well, that would be nice, but my son can't fall asleep without me, and by the time he does fall asleep, it's like 9:30, and we're too tired to do anything, and by the time we go to bed, and after a night of being kicked in the back with our kids sleeping with us, I usually end up sleeping on the couch or the floor. I really don't have time to do stuff like that. And she goes, oh my god, yikes, And then she goes on to talk about our generations and how our parents were narcissistic, self-absorbed people that needed to go off and find themselves instead of really taking care of their children, and yada yada yada, this and that, but makes a statement of, but trying to keep your child in your bra is not the answer. And basically she goes on to talk about how marriages, basically what she's trying to say, I think, is that, you don't need to completely ignore yourself in your life, or this is, what I hope that she's trying to say, is that you need to be able to make time for yourself in your life. I mean, you have a new child, and if you don't take some time to self-care and really, keep yourself up and functioning, yeah, your marriage could fall apart. You could turn into shambles. You could be run down and, scrambling to hold on, and that's not good. If mom's not happy, the family is not happy. That's common knowledge. But what I feel is that, first of all, lady, you had a child when you and your husband decided to make the decision that it was time for you guys to bring a child in the house. That's you choosing to have a different lifestyle. You just might not be able to have the same romantic dinner that you had every night. And to say that you should be putting your child second to your previous lifestyle, I don't think is right. I mean, and say, and I'm not trying to say self-care isn't important. I mean, me along with any other mother will tell you, you gotta take care of yourself. I mean, you have to do some things for you to rejuvenate yourself, because yes, being a parent is hard, and yes, kids take a lot of attention and a lot of energy. It's not, a big surprise, but, if you can't seem to schedule in to your day-to-day life time for yourself enough that's going to give you what you need, then I say get a babysitter. You know what I mean? Pay someone to come and stimulate your child and play with your child for a couple hours while you do whatever it is that you got to do. But making your child get used to, from the time that they're born, sitting in a crib by themselves because you want to go and cook a nice big fancy dinner that your child's not invited to, I mean, I think that's messed up, personally, and I especially want to say, as I'm maybe not the most attached parent, I would practice a lot of what you would call attachment parenting. I co-sleep, I breastfeed, I use her in a wrap a lot, but not all the time. Sometimes we use the stroller, You gotta do what works for you. You know what I mean? Every family's different, every child is different, every circumstance is different. But the key is acknowledging that your child, even though it's small, even though it does funny, silly things like a baby does, just because it can't talk or do normal people things, it's a person. That's a person there, and you should treat it with the respect that you give any other fellow person when you're trying to be a good person yourself. Parents of multiple children will gladly tell you, that every child is different. What they did for their newborn of the first one is, totally different than what they did with the second one, and consequences are totally different, and you really got to be able to be flexible to bend, and accommodate what you're given, because, unlike picking your spouse where you can go out into the world and, pick and choose and date around and find the most compatible person for you, having a child is not that way. That kid is given to you as is, you don't really get to choose, and so when you're going into parenting, you have to be, able to stand back, acknowledge your child for the personality that it has and for the, temperament that it has, and be willing to work with that and find a way to, make it work in the family. Some people are luckier than others where they have, where they're more compatible. Some parents and some children don't have naturally compatible personalities. Sometimes you'll get a really mellow, really laid-back parent with a stressed-out, hyperactive kid, or vice versa. A parent that's go, 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 and a kid that just wants to hang out and relax, having a family and parenting is not always easy, but those are things you got to keep in mind when you're going into it. And just always remember, it's not forever. It seems like a long time. It's not forever, and the time goes by fast. They're always changing, they're always growing, and, when you get to the end of it, all you got to do is look back on the time that you had when they were small, and, cherish the moments in the time that you have, because one day they won't be with you no more, and it's not even by the time they move out. It's usually around age 13. They don't want nothing to do with you no more, so, try and keep that in mind while you're going through the hard times,